Well, Jay, as you said, he's a Delhi boy. Works in a marketing executive company. He's a marketing executive working for a marketing company. And Jay's really, I think, going through an emotional midlife crisis where everything seems to be right, but when it comes to matters of the heart, he is not fully aware as to why he is feeling so much confusion. And it is a journey that he takes with his friends to a good friend's wedding that he realizes there's a different Jay in him altogether that hasn't sufficed and hasn't surfaced. And he starts wondering and questioning some of the choices he's made in his life. So it's his journey of self-discovery, it's his journey of finding love, and it's his journey of seeing life through a different perspective. You know, Sahil is the kind of guy that you can call at 4 o'clock in the morning and you bet that he'll be there in any situation possible. Sahil's a very solid guy. He has his head on his shoulders. He's very thoughtful. He's very caring. He's a very good leader. He's a very good writer. He's almost sometimes too good to be true. So I had to look at this guy and I told myself that this is one person if I ever leave full control to of how I'm going to be as an actor, I would feel comfortable doing it with Sahil. Because he gave me the faith to believe that he is the person to bank on. And I know that Sahil is going to be a very, very big director one day because he has the makings, not just of being very creative and a good director, but also a very good human being and a very solid guy, a very dependable guy. So these are the things that you often associate with somebody who's hungry and somebody who's seeing it in the right way rather than fooling himself and seeing it in the wrong way. So Sahil's somebody anybody can bank on. He can be loved by a child and by an elder alike. Very first shot was we were shooting for Rosanna. We started off with the song and Sahil came to me and he said that, you know, I hope your dad's not coming today because he's going to like definitely look at me and see if I'm doing the right angles and stuff like that. So I said, no, he's not. He's just coming to bless you. So it was the opening shot of me getting up from bed and of course panning in on my Brazilian boxers, which Sahil actually wanted me to wear a boxer saying porn star on, which I said, I'm sorry. I don't know how family audiences are going to take to that. So let's do something along the same lines and you'll get your shot. So that was the first day. We want to make the characters as non-pretentious as possible so that when you relate to them, they become easier to relate to. And I think the very fact that Jay has flaws in him is one fact that most people will relate to because most people have flaws, no matter how good they are. I mean, Jay is this kind of guy who's, you know, a ray of sunshine in everybody's life, but when it comes to his own problems, he doesn't know how to deal with it, you know. And I think the message that this character at the end will say is be brave enough to confront your feelings and be brave enough to make decisions that might hurt some, but at the same time, you might be in a situation where you would feel that was the right thing to do. Sometimes, you know, there's no right way of doing the wrong thing, but when you have to face the music, you have to face the music. You run away from it, the problems just multiply. So I think at the end of the day, it's about not running away from what matters to you most. You know, I like the way Javed Saab actually put this. Javed Saab said on the music launch, he said, you know, this is the first time I've worked with music directors who managed to bring in the element of folk, classic and contemporary together. And I think as Indians, that's where we also are. We are deeply rooted in our culture, yet we are very modern, and yet we are, you know, very open to new instruments and music alike. So I think Salim Sulaiman and Javed Saab really nailed it in bringing about that feeling and evoking that feeling where you have a song like Rab Rakha, where you instantaneously fall magically in love with, because it's reminiscence of so many experiences you've shared or warm experiences you've had with people or friends or family. Or if it's a Rosanna, which is the kind of upbeat, you know, contemporary song that most young executives or young people would like to, you know, sing to or hum to before they go to work. or whether it's Chahi Hai Tanhai, which is the kind of song where everybody, you know, it's a melancholy song, you know, and everybody has melancholy moments. And Love, 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 which is a breath of fresh air, which is a ray of sunshine. It's the culmination of a new beginning. You know, I think we all like new beginnings. I think we all like to be given second chances or third chances. We are human after all. So I think the music, touch wood, it's coming up really fast on the charts. And from some radio channels we've heard it's going to be #1 soon. And I think that's generally a very good connect. Because the audiences instantaneously feel that these guys they understand the pulse, and if they can understand the pulse through music so well, what will their film be? So that curiosity has definitely come about. I know Rab Rakha would be the obvious choice, but I do like Rosanna, and I do feel that Rosanna is going to be the next super hit song from the album. Of course, it's the kind of song which will take a little longer to grow on you. But once it does, you can be rest assured that it's going to stick. This time around, I relied completely on Thea, Sahil and Dia. I think the most important thing about this whole experience for me was the last time somebody saw me for who I was Farah Khan in Main Hoon Na. And she brought out a side in me that I never showed to a lot of people. I think Sahil and Dia saw that side in me that they said that needs to come out and that you haven't projected. And having said that, from there on end, they made sure that I don't do anything that I like, but they made sure that I, dress in a certain manner. My hair should be in a certain manner. My makeup should be in a certain manner. Thea made sure that she brought in all the experiences to make a young executive look non-pretentious and yet very ambitious and career-minded and just cool. Not over the top. It should be relatable again. So, and there's a very fine line between being stylish and relatable and being stylish and over the top, And I think Thea has really nailed it, and she's done that with every character. She's made sure that every character has a certain color palette, and that they follow that color palette, so that, when you watch the movie, very subconsciously, you start associating a character with just certain amount of colors that he wears or she wears, and it starts sticking even further, because film is such a visual medium. Every little thing, driven hard enough, starts to make sense at the end of the day and starts to build on you. So very cleverly, I think she's done a very, very good job. I've worked with Asim on Shab before, and I've had an amazing experience working with him. And I remember when Sahil and me were chatting, and we were chatting about who the cinematographer should be. I put my foot down and I said, Sahil, trust me, we must take a guy like Asim, because not only does he bring an aesthetic beauty and sense of camera, he's such a child at heart, because for him his work is just something that he adores, he's in love with. I mean, you can be sitting down having coffee and Asim will be there talking to you about lenses like he's talking about girlfriends, So it's crazy, his passion towards his art and his love. It was never postponed actually. It was always 7th of October. We had never committed a date. We were shuffling between when was the right time to release it. But once we committed 7th of October, it was committed. We were not going to move back for any reason. But at the end of the day, these market forces determine sometimes where you should position your film. We just happen to be really lucky that we are on the 3rd day of Dussehra, which is supposed to be one of the most auspicious days. So we are really, really happy that it all worked out for us. But once we committed, we didn't go back. I think the most important thing from a producer's point of view is to get a whole bunch of people who are working for you at that time, it could be 300, 350, to believe in a certain goal and to navigate them, in a way that they all work in concert towards that goal. So that, nobody's just thinking about their department and this and that. So they work cohesively towards that goal. And as a producer, you must make sure that it happens, because it's a people business after all. You've got to be very sensitive to how people would react. You've got to sometimes think ahead of problems that could occur. so that there's no break to the shooting. So I think as a producer, that's one of the most important things. You have to be a good listener. You must understand where people are coming from, and you must have the ability, after understanding and absorbing that, to make it all work. I think most importantly, I've had some great partners in Sahil India, and we've all come with our strengths to the table, and we all cover up for our weaknesses. We're really happy to be here, to be accepted by our peers, to be respected by our colleagues. It's great to get that kind of respect from your peers within the industry.